Hi, Stephen from Owner Disown. Well, this is going to be my first look at the Acer Nitro 5. I didn't get a chance to look at it last year, but very popular laptop because, you know, it's affordable and it represented good value for people who are wanting to get into PC gaming, for students and say people perhaps trying to ditch their Xbox and get into PC gaming, because the base model started with a Ryzen 5 CPU and an AMD RX 560X GPU. You know, that was around about $560, and then you can get the GTX 1050 or the 1050 Ti. You know, pricing ranging from say $600 to $800. Now it's available in both a 15-inch and a 17-inch model, and that is also true today. Now the 15-inch model, which I saw on Amazon, was about $1,000. Now that had a pokey 128GB SSD, which I don't recommend. Too small. It did come with a 1TB spinning hard drive and 8GB of RAM. Now the model I have here is actually from Best Buy, and it was $800, and it's a 17-inch model. So that's, you know, I'm looking forward to that. 8GB of RAM, a 256GB SSD, which you can put your own hard drive in, of course, if you want, and they're cheap as nails these days, very cheap. And it's again 8GB of RAM on it, and a GTX 1650 graphics. So let's see what we have in the box. So this has got some nice looking packaging, and you know, we've got a bonus. They give you it's a sleeve. Looks very nice. You know, an Acer neoprene sleeve, nice and stretchy, and that's not bad. You know, an extra something, you know, for a cheap laptop. You know, that's not bad at all. And the box itself is also pretty nice. So once inside, we get the usual quick start guide, which of course no one reads, so throw that there. We'll get the power brick, which shouldn't be, you know, too powerful because it's 1650 after all. So it actually looks like 135 watt power brick here. So that's that. And we get a hard drive mounting kit, same as the Acer, of course, typical Acer. That was the Helios 300, wasn't it? Warning you about the warranty. But someone did point out on the on my comments that they contacted support and everything was fine there. And you get some screws and the power cable. All right, so you got a hard drive mounting apparatus. So we get a brushed, give me an old plastic build here. So it's brushed plastic here, making it look like aluminium, but it's not. It's all plastic with the Acer logo branded in there. Can you open it with one hand? You can't open it with one hand. So you know, as typical for a 17-inch, you have nice big wrist areas here. Again, it's all plastic deck. You do have the Waves Max audio as well here, and that's fairly decent. I do quite like that. The stickers aren't that big, which is great because everybody who watches my channel knows I hate stickers. The trackpad, at least, it's got a nice red surround to it, which, you know, for this price level, I think it does separate a little bit. Now, of course, you've got a red theme going on here, which I know it's a love or hate relationship. You know, a lot of people don't like the red these days, but you do have separate brightness controls and volume controls on the arrow keys, full-size arrow keys, a nice number pad here, and you've got a separate button here, probably for opening up perhaps the Predator Sense software here. Right? And the AWSD keys are highlighted in red as well. So it looks like the keyboard is going to be just red backlit. And the hinge here, big hinge area with Nitro written on the top. Now looking underneath here, the venting here is closed off to quite a bit of the section. This is rather peculiar, but so you got a bit of venting here, there, and there, and the feet don't seem to be particularly raised. That does add a little bit of a concern to me. But of course, ABS plastic, nice Phillips head screws to take it apart, so it's going to have easy access. And you can see the big speaker vents here firing down into the desk. So the previous generation, I understand, had access covers for the RAM and the hard drive, but nothing here. You have to remove the screws, yank hard at the back, and pull up the back cover like this, and it is pretty stiff. You have the 59 watt hour battery here. You have the two speakers here firing downwards, of course. Two slots for the RAM. It's Hynix RAM, and it's you know, there's only one populated. We have the Intel 9560 Wi-Fi card, so that is a good Wi-Fi card. And we do have some good storage with two M.2 slots. Of course, I've got one populated, and you've got the hard drive here. Now you've got the GPU here, the CPU here, shared heat pipes. That's the same design as before, through one large heatsink here, and a smaller one here. So that's the cooling. So let's see how we do about fitting in a hard drive. So attach the SATA and power cable, and then you'll see a little slot here on the motherboard. Slide that in there and close it down, and then rescrew in the hard drive. On the left hand side we have the Kensington lock, Ethernet jack, HDMI, USB-C, and two USB 3.1 Type A ports. On the right hand side we have a combo headphone mic jack, USB 2 port, power connector, and the air vent. Showing the power connector is on the right hand side where your mouse hand would be. Around the back, no ports, of course just the heatsink there, and you got the Nitro written on the hinge. So the only option on the keyboard is red, just like the HP Pavilion 15 was green. So you got to like that color. There's no way of switching it, but you do have the Nitro Sense button there, which activates the software, so that's nice to have. So comparing it to the HP Pavilion 15, also a 60 Hz panel, it's got about 60% of sRGB, give you a good idea of what this is like. So here we have the Electronics Mech 17 here and the Nitro 5 here. You'll notice slightly wider bezels, but still not too bad for such a budget laptop. Top bezel is of course thicker and wider than the Electronics Mech 17, and 60 Hz panel, 144 Hz panel. You can see the difference in color, a bit more vibrant here on the 144 Hz panel. Now in terms of screen flex in the Nitro 5, for a 17-inch panel it's not too bad, I must admit. So just a quick comparison of footprint. You got the Electronics Mech 17 here and the Nitro 5 here. Due to that thicker bezel at the top, you can see that there's a bigger footprint on the Nitro 5, of course. Now of course if you wanted to go for a 15-inch laptop with the same specs like the HP Pavilion, you're going to save quite a bit of footprint in your bag. So with the Acer running for about 40 minutes, where the CPU obviously has spiked into the 90s, but does level out to like the 80s, and clock speed down to about 3,500, 3,600 megahertz. This does have software by pressing the end button on the keyboard to alter fan speeds. So let's see what it's like when we put up max fan and see what temperature it happens. It's just on Acer. So with max fan, after 5 more minutes of running Acer, temperatures are pretty good, in the 70s. Now let's run it with Time Spy as well as Acer. Alright, so running Time Spy and Acer at the same time, and max fans. We did see a spike up to 91, but generally that's not too bad. Everything, all the other cores are fine, and average temperatures were alright. So I was quite pleased with that, and the clock speed was about 3,600. So I think max fans works quite well. A quick look at performance numbers. Multi-threaded scores in Cinebench R15 700 and Cinebench R20 1633. Comparing 5-strike scores between the HP Pavilion 15, we get about the same points, 8,016 versus 8,047. The GPU and physics scores pretty much identical, and the same is true for Time Spy. Graphics score about 3,517 for the Pavilion and 3,555 for the Acer Nitro 5. So there you have it, quick first look. And my first impressions, well, I do quite like it. I mean, they've slimmed down the bezels. Top bezel's a little bit thick, but all in all, it's quite a nice, sleek looking machine. It's got a clean look on the keyboard deck, which I do like. Performance wise, it's similar to the HP Pavilion 15, both running single channel RAM. So I will be putting another stick of RAM in this to test in dual channel, of course. And cooling wise, I'm glad that they do have the fan control, because auto fan, it's going to get hot. So max it out and it'll be okay. Anyway, put in the comments below what you'd like me to test. Thank you for watching. Bye.